Certainly, Excel is a powerful tool for analyzing marketing and sales data. Here are three examples of how you can use Excel for this purpose. First example, sales performance analysis. The objective of this example is to analyze sales data to assess the performance of product, sales representative, or regions. Step 1. Import data. Import your data into Excel. Ensure that the data includes relevant information such as product, name, sales amount, date, and categories. So here is our data. Here we have the date, category of product, city and country, customer name, the discount, order ID, product name, quantity of what the customer bought, the region, segment, and and the sales per customer, or we can call it directly sales. Second step would be data cleaning and formatting. To clean and format the data, we need to clean and format the data to ensure consistency. Remove duplicate, handle missing value, and format dates and currency appropriately. To remove duplicate, you can just click on data and then click on this button over here, remove duplicate. And then you choose what are the columns that you want to consider in the crossing of a duplicate. And then you click on OK. Here on our data, we have no duplicate value. Let's go to format. So here we have an order date column. We need to format it so that Excel can recognize the date format. This date format is not recognized on Excel. To make sure of that, we can just go on Home, click on number type, and then if you see short date or longer date are the same text. So he doesn't recognize the date. To help him recognize the date, let's extract just the date without this hour. Anyways, the hour are always on 0. So let's extract just the year, month, and day. To do that, we're going to use a function called left. And this function extracts the left part of a text field or a cell, and you determine how many number from the left you want to extract. For this example, we need to extract 10 numbers. The year is 4, then we have this character, and 2 numbers for the month, and another character, and 2. So total it's 10. So here we have just the year. uh, I um, I dragged formula to the rest of the column. I'm just gonna copy paste it in value. So here I won't have my formula anymore. I need also to replace this hyphen or this little short line by a slash. To do that, I'm just gonna select my column and then click on Control F on my keyboard. I'll have this window that pop-ups, and what I'm going to do is replace this little line with the slash. So this is what I want to replace, and this is what it's going to be replaced by. And I'll click on replace all. You see that automatically once I change that one, and since I have short dates on this column, it automatically gave me the date. I don't want to see my date like this. I want to see it in short date. Sorry, before I had long date. I want to see it on short date. And then I can delete this column. I'm just gonna take a title, and I don't need this column anymore. Another thing that I can do is also, if you see here, all my number have a point instead of comma in there for the decimal. So to change this, I'm gonna select those both column and then change the point by the comma. And then click on replace all. So here are the steps that I need to do to clean my data. The third step is to use a pivot table to summarize sales data. For example, we can create a pivot table to show total sales by category or by region or by product. This provides a quick overview of the performance. So let's select our table and then click on Insert and click on Pivot Table. We're gonna create our pivot table in a new worksheet. Click on OK. And then here we can see the cells. This is the sum of our cells. We can see it by region. So we drag region into the rows. We can have detail by category also. So here we have region and category. And we can also maybe add a product name in the filter. And here we can choose, for example, one product, this one, and see the distribution of its cell by region. They're pretty close for Central, East, and West, and the South we have more cells. This is to have a view by product, but it's always good to have a general view like this. So here we have the subtotals in each region and the detail by category. We can change also category and region, and we'll have the subtotal by category and then the detail by region. Fourth step is to see the cell trend with chart. So we can create a line chart or a bar chart to visualize cell trend over time. This helps identify pattern, seasonality, or any significant change in the cell performance. To do that, let's create a new pivot table over here and then select our data again. And here if we want to see the trend of over time, so we will need the time, so the order dates in the rows. And you see here we have the year, quarter, month, and the order dates. We will have a hierarchy of the dates. Just so you can see. Okay. And then I can add the cells in my value. And then I can filter by product so I can see products by product, the trend of each product. And then I'll insert my, maybe let's do a bar chart. Let's choose this one. Okay. This is all our sales through all the years. And then let's choose a specific product. Not this one, maybe something which will have a lot of. Here you go. This product have this trend of sale during the 4 years history. And then if we click over here on this plus, we will have it by quarters of each year. And then we've clicked in plus again, we will have it by month. And then last one in the hierarchy is by day. And here we have a lot of these products. Maybe I can change this one. This is not really visible. Here is another product with just a fewer data, maybe. And here, if we see by month, we see that, for example, in October 2011, we had a peak of sales. Same thing in November, lesser peak, but it was the highlight of the year of 2012. 2013, we have another one in November, and 2014, we have a peak on May. We can also calculate sales growth. We can calculate the percentage growth in sale over different period. This can be done using Excel formula. We can current sale minus previous sale, and then we can divide by previous sale. We can also, to do that, let's use this same table maybe, and then here we'll the whole have the whole product, and let's select this one. And as we said, maybe let's go a notch. Let's just take the quarters, and we can also change. We can take off the month of this one since we won't use it. Take off the order date. We won't use it. We'll just have quarter and year. And for the year, let's change subtotal none. Okay. So here we don't have the subtotal of the year anymore. And then I can copy and pass this one over here. Pass it just by value. And to calculate the growth, mm, this one should be in here. We can just do current period minus the previous period, and then I will need a bracket over here, and we'll divide it by previous cells. And this is our growth, and we want it in percentage. And this I can go and applicate this formula to our all lines. We don't need it in grand total, it have no sense. Let's do a little just format this table so we can see our data better. Here is the growth by period. So here is Q2 minus Q1, Q3 minus Q2, and so on. We don't have Q4 for 2010. This is why here we won't have any data. In addition to this, we can use conditional formatting to highlight the high and low performing period. So if you use data formatting on this column of growth, and then let's choose uh, green and red. So the red one are over here. They are all negative values, and this is like a warning because we performed better sales in the previous period than this one. So those are the lowest, and the green one are the highest period of growth. So we have the Q3 of 2011, the then we'll have the Q4 of 2013, Q3 2014, and we also will have those quarter that are performing very well. That was for our first example. Second example is the customer segmentation and analysis. The objective of this second example is to segment customer based on their behavior and analyze the effectiveness of marketing strategy. So the first step is same as the other example, is to import data. So we need to import customer data, including the demography, purchase history, and any relevant metrics. This depends on your data. Here we will have the customer name, the city where he lives, and the discount that we provided him. This data we already cleaned it in the first example, so automatically the second step is always data cleaning and categorizing. We need to clean and categorize customer data, create a category based on demography, frequency, or any segmentation criteria applicable to your business. So here we have a segment which is this one. We have it depending on the business. We have consumer, corporate, and home office. This is the segment that we have for now. And then let's perform an RFM analysis. An RFM analysis, which is recency frequency monetary, is done to segment customers based on their buying behavior. We can use Excel function to calculate those three factors. So to do that, we'll need a pivot table again. So insert pivot table. Let's do that in a new sheet, of course. Let's call this sheet RFM analysis. So here we will need first the customer name. So recency is based on when this customer purchased his last order. So we will need the order date, but we will put it on value. You see here the order date, we have a bunch of numbers that is not very understandable. To change this, we can go to our value field setting and change the number format and precise that this is a date and we want it on this format. Click on OK and then OK. And here we have some dates. Another thing that we should do in a value field is to precise that we want the max of order date. The max of order date will give us the last date that this client purchased an order. This is for recency. Frequency, we will need to count how much, well, let's use quantity maybe. And in quantity, we will count. So we will know how many times this customer purchased on our business. And last thing, monetary. And this, we just gonna use the sum of the cells. Once we finished our pivot table, let's copy it. And I'm just gonna paste it right next to it. But I'm gonna paste it in values, just in values. Let's give it a little format. Okay. So here you see that the max order changed again. Let's fix this one. I'm just gonna try if this is gonna work. Yes, good. So for recency, here we have a date, but this is like a qualitative column. Let's make it quantitative. To do that, we're going to calculate the difference between a reference date and this date. Date, recency. I'll just call it R for recency. And then to calculate, we're going to use the function dateDiff. This the argument of this function is our date, and then let's give it a reference date. Let's choose 1st of January 2020, and we close. We can use another argument, which is to precise that I want to calculate by day. This is giving me a date, so normally it's not a date, it's general. So this is the number of days between 1st January 2020 and this date. And if you see here, we have 10 days between the 3rd of November 2024 and the 13th of November 2024. And same thing here, you will have 10 days of difference. So here is our formula, date if, and then here is this date, so the whole column, the date of reference, and then the metric that we wanna calculate this difference. So here is our R, recency. This is our F, frequency, and last is our M, monetary. And then once those factors are calculated, we can now create a score based on those ones. So let's create score R and then score F and then score M. To score those, we can use a function in Excel, which is percent 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 rank exclusive or inclusive, percent rank inclusive, which we choose the array, and then we choose the value, it's this one, and we close. So this function gives us numbers between 0 and 1 that ranks this value in the selected series. I'm gonna multiplicate this function by 10 so I can have a number, and to have integer number, I'm just gonna round this one by 0. So here we have a ranking from 0 to 1. But let's notice something. Here we have a ranking between 0 to 10, I'm sorry. And let's notice something. If I sort this from older to newest, the older has the score of 10. But we want the opposite. We want the oldest one to have a score of 0. So to do that, we're just gonna add 10 minus this formula. And now if we saw the newest one, it has a score of 10. So that's for first one, recency. Second one is frequency. We're going to use the same formula. Maybe I just can do this one and then take off this 10 minus. And it's gonna be the same thing for monetary. So here, if you see, we have analyzed our data between recency, frequency, and monetary and have given it a score for each factor. Next step is customer segmentation. Here, if you see, I've segmented my data into, let's call first the column segment. I segmented my data into 5 segments based on those scores that I did. And I can use this table and insert a pivot table, but insert it over here. To analyze my segment. So once we create our pivot table on Excel, we can use Excel function to segment customer into different group. For example, create a pivot table showing average purchase amount for each customer segment. So here, and then we can see the average. The average is mandatory for the average of purchase. So here is the average of purchase for each segment. And you see that the first segment has a really high number compared to the rest of the segment, and the fourth segment is really low comparing to the segment just above it. And then once we have those information, we can calculate the CLV. The goal of this matrix is to understand the long-term value of different customer segments. This can be done using formula and aggregating data related to customer purchase over time. To calculate this metric, let's add also the frequency. And here we will need to see the average of frequency also. And then I'm just gonna copy paste this table over here, but just value. Let's give it a little format. Okay. So the CLV is basically the average sales times the average frequency. And here is our matrix for the different segments. We can maybe just round it to zero number. This is the metric for the grand total, and these are the metric for our segment. Maybe we can compare the grand total with the segment. Here we can see that the first two segments are superior than the grand total, and the three others are inferior. And there is a big difference, but the lower segment is really low and the top segment is really high. Last step we can add to this analysis is the marketing campaign effectiveness. So to analyze the effectiveness of marketing campaign by Excel, we can also analyze the effectiveness of marketing campaign by tracking customer response rates and conversion rates. We can use Excel chart to visualize the impact of different campaigns. Third example is market share and competitor analysis. The objective of this example is to evaluate your market share and analyze competition performance. First step would be to collect the data. We need to collect data and market size, overall industry performance, and information about key competitors. Then the second step is data cleaning and comparison. Clean and organize the data, ensuring consistency in data units and format. Create a side-by-side comparison of your sales performance and market data. So here, let's suppose this is our data. For each product, we have quantity of sale and the sum of sales. And here we have the market data. For each product, we have sum of the quantity and sum of sales in the market. To compare those two datas, we need to put them side by side. So here, let me add sum of quantity and sum of sales of the market. I'll add an M over here to distinguish between the two of them. To bring the market data to this table, we'll have to use a function in Excel called VLOOKUP. So here we do VLOOKUP and we search our product in the market table. I'll select the whole table because I use the second column. And then the quantity is the column 2. I want to have an exact match. So here is the quantity. And I'll use a similar formula to get the cells instead of 2 on the third column here. Cells are in the third column. So let's drag it over here. So here now we have both data in one table and we can compare them. Next step is to calculate your market share by dividing your total sale by the total market sale. Use Excel formula to present market share as a percentage. So here we're going to divide our sale by the market sale. This is percentage. This is percentage. So we have an 8% share of the binder. And let's drag this and rename the column market share. If we go through our data over here, you see here we have a big share on the organizer strip in the market. So here we go. Fourth step is do a competitor comparison. We can do it by charts and create a chart comparing our cell with a competitor. We can use bar chart or radar chart can be effective to visualizing strengths and weakness in various area. We can also do a SWOT analysis The SWOT analysis can be conducted, which is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats, using Excel to identify area for improvement and potential area for growth. And last thing that we can use in this example also is the price and promotion analysis. We can analyze the impact of pricing and promotional strategies on market share. Use Excel function to calculate price elasticity and visualize correlation between pricing changes and market share. Excel flexibility allow for a wide range of analysis, and these examples can be adapted based on the specific need of your business and the data available. Certainly, formatting your Excel report for both print and presentation involve consideration for readability, aesthetic, and the specific need of each medium. Here are some tips on how to format your Excel report effectively to print and presentation. Formatting for print. Page layout. Set up your Excel sheet with appropriate page margin, orientation, portrait or landscape, and size axis. The pa- and size. Access the Page Layout tab to adjust these settings. Ensure that the content fits well on the printed page. Print titles. Define print title to repeat certain rows or columns on each printed page. This is useful for keeping headers visible on every page. Go to Page Layout, then click on Print Titles to set this up. Guideline and heading. Decide whether to include guidelines and column rows heading in the printed version. Adjust this setting under the View tab. Sometimes it's beneficial to print without guideline for a cleaner look. Header and footer. Customize the header and footer to include relevant information such as the report title, page number, and dates. Access this under the Insert tab. Scaling options. Use the scaling option in the Page Layout tab to adjust the size of the content for printing. This ensures that the report fits well on the page without being too small or too large. Print area. Define a specific print area to control what is printed. Select the range you want to print, go to the Page Layout tab and choose Print, then click on Set Print Area. Print Preview. Regularly check the print preview before printing to ensure that the layout, formatting, and content appear as intended. This helps catch potential issue before printing. Formatting for presentation. Visual appear. Use vibrant color, font style, and formatting option to enhance the visual appeal of your Excel sheet. Keep in mind that the color schema should be consistent with the branding or the overall theme of your presentation. Chart design. Customize charts and graphs for a polished look. Adjust colors and data labels and include a legend. Make sure the charts are easily understandable and support the key points of your presentation. Consistent for usage. Stick to consistent font throughout your Excel report. Ensure that the font size is legible both on screen and when you project during a presentation. Data highlighting. Use conditional formatting, bold text, or color shading to highlight key data point or trend. This makes it easier for your audience to focus on critical information. Data tables. Format data tables for clarity. Use alternating rows color, bold header, and border to distinguish rows and columns. Consider adjusting column wide for better readability. White space. Embrace white space to avoid a cluttered appearance. Adequate spacing between elements enhances readability and gives your presentation a clean, professional look. Slide break. If your Excel sheet is part of a large presentation, plan slide break strategy. Avoid splitting chart or table across slides, and consider breaking content logically to maintain a smooth flow. Hide unnecessary elements. Temporarily hide any unnecessary elements such as formula, bars, or guidelines. During the presentation, this declutters the view and keep the focus on the main content. Check resolution. If you are using higher resolution image or graphic, ensure they will display properly when projected. Test your presentation on the equipment you'll be using to identify any potential resolution issue. Print to PDF. Consider printing your Excel report to a PDF format before the presentation. This ensures that the formatting remains consistent across different devices and platforms. Remember to tailor these tips based on the specific requirements of your report and presentation. Regularly preview and test both the print and presentation version to catch any formatting issue and ensure a seamless transition between the two formats. If you found this video and book informative and helpful, we'd really appreciate if you could take a moment to share your positive feedback on Amazon. Thank you for being part of our community and for your support.